Have you ever felt like no matter how much you rest, you are still running on empty? Like you are dragging yourself through the day, wondering if you will ever feel like you again? I unfortunately know that feeling all too well. And that's because I have lived it. Hi there, I'm Dr. Santina or Tina Wheat. I'm a family physician, an educator, and a career and life coach. I help healthcare professionals move from chaos to calm by reconnecting with their purpose and creating space for balance and peace. And now today, I am sharing the truth about recovering from burnout without burning yourself out even more in the process. Now, if you are in a high stress profession, especially in one like healthcare, you know what I mean when I say you don't have the luxury of a full stop. So, how do we heal without losing momentum? How do we actually refuel without abandoning everything that we care about? That is exactly what we are going to talk about today. So, let's start by talking about the reality of burnout. Burnout is not just about being tired. It is about being depleted. It is waking up exhausted after hours of sleep. It is brain fog. It's decision fatigue. There's apathy where there used to be purpose. For me, it started with skipping breaks. It started with saying yes too often, sometimes staying late. Then one day, I hit a wall and it felt like it came out of nowhere. I felt flat, numb, and done. But even then, I felt guilty for needing rest, as if I had to earn my recovery. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, here's the truth. Burnout isn't a failure. It is a sign. It is a signal that something has to change. So let's talk about why pushing through just does not work. We are told to push through, to grind harder, to just be resilient. But pushing through burnout is like driving on empty, hoping that speed will get you to a gas station, which is just too far away. You are more likely to break down. So if you are feeling that kind of exhaustion, the answer is never more effort. It is about restoration. It is about intentional, honest rest. Not collapse, not quitting, but slowing down enough to refill your tank intentionally. So, how do we do that? Well, step one is reconnecting to what matters. This isn't a routine or a checklist. For me, it was asking what actually matters to me? What feels like me? And surprisingly, the answers were actually fairly simple. A short walk outside, taking the time to enjoy my coffee, not doing anything else, uninterrupted reading with my kids. These were my breadcrumbs back to myself. So ask yourself, what is one moment in the past month where you felt grounded? Not productive, not needed, but just you. I want you to write that down because that is your starting point. Step two is to restore before you rebuild. Most high achievers want to fix their burnout fast, but burnout isn't a task like anything else. You cannot power through it. You have to actually restore yourself before you rebuild. And that looks different for everyone. For me, it was saying no to new projects, prioritizing actual sleep, taking breaks without guilt, taking the time to read a book for pleasure. It's amazing because even just 5-minute pauses made a huge difference. The tiny, consistent acts of rest have more power than a weekend retreat that you're never going to take. You don't need a vacation. You need permission to stop overfunctioning. Give yourself that permission. Sometimes that vacation makes you feel worse because you're thinking about all of the things that you have to come to. So instead of taking that 2-week vacation that isn't going to help, think about how you can stop with the overfunctioning. And that looks different for everyone. Step number 3 is remembering that boundaries are actually not selfish. So let's talk a little bit about those because burnout is not just about doing too much. It is about not protecting the energy that you need. I had to learn this the hard way. Boundaries aren't actually walls. They're clarity. They tell you and others what is okay and what is not okay. Start with this one little thing. I don't check work messages after 6. I started with this one little thing. I put do not disturb on my phone at 9:15 and I didn't check phone calls after that. And you know what? People just adjusted. And more importantly, I started to feel free. I didn't have to worry about it because that was my time. So ask yourself, what boundary is waiting to be named in your life? Even just one small one is a step towards healing. Step number 4 was a hard one for me. Progress over perfection. I used to think that I would just wake up one day and feel 100% again. That one day I would just feel great and the burnout would be gone. But the truth is, recovery is not a light switch. It's a dimmer. Some days are 70%, some days are 30%, and that is absolutely normal. So instead of chasing perfection, I started tracking progress. 3 lunches taken without multitasking, 1 evening walk without guilt. Each of these are wins. So let go of the perfect comeback. Embrace the small, steady climb because the progress will keep you motivated without draining you further. And then one day you will realize that you have come out of burnout. So let's recap. Step 1 is to reconnect to what matters. Step 2 is to restore before you rebuild. Step 3 is to protect your energy with boundaries. Step 4 is to focus on progress, not perfection. Burnout recovery does not mean going back to who you were. It means becoming someone more sustainable, someone who is more self-aware and more aligned. You can't go back to who you were because you'll end up burnt out again. And remember, you are not broken. You're human, and you are allowed to heal without hustle. Now, if this helped you or resonated with you, I hope you'll drop a comment and let me know. And share with me, what is one small shift that you are going to make this week? And I hope you'll check out some of my other videos. And soon we will be diving into real resilience without falling into toxic positivity, because that doesn't help anyone either. You've got this, and I've got your back. If you are looking for more support and even one-on-one coaching, then fill out the application in the description to see if we might be able to work together. Okay, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you will subscribe so that you get notified every time I've released a new video. Have a good one. I am so grateful for you.